Arsenal are bottling the league again. Yeah, Arsenal such bottle jobs, right, guys? Well, it's getting late. I think I'm going to sleep now. Whoa, 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 whoa. No. Wait.
I just catch you having fun.
Now look, Arsenal, you're doing a great job. You're doing exactly what I want you to do. I'm going to get to you in a second, but I really think that people are forgetting about Spurs. Now, at the time of this recording, Spurs are closer to the relegation zone than I am to my own father. Now, I personally believe that Tottenham are the most cursed big club in all of sports history. This eclipses football. Spurs are like John Travolta in football, a massive star that everybody knows, but we just know him for a few good moments and a lot of bad moments. Today, I'm going to be talking extensively about Tottenham. I'm not going to explain why they're the most cursed club in football history. I'm going to show you. This is not a rant. This is not a video clowning Spurs. This isn't an agenda video. Here is how this video is going to work. I am going to talk about Spurs' biggest bottle job moments in history. And these moments are going to get worse gradually as the video continues until we get to the #1 spot. Now, I don't know why people don't talk about this moment. Probably because they don't know that it happened. But I promise you, it is the biggest fumble since your crush texted you saying that she's gonna go take a shower and you replied saying, "Without me?" And she called the cops on you. So if you feel like you know everything about Spurs' bottling, you're gonna learn after this video that you haven't even tipped the iceberg. Bruhs, it is your boy, the Streets Champ. Tell me world, party time, excellent. And let's get on to the video. Now guys, I'm going to rank these moments in terms of bottles. So the first couple of instances are going to be lower tier and have a bottle rating of 1. But then we are going to be gradually going up until we get to a bottle rating of 10. Also, a lot of these are not just bottling or fumbling moments. They're just very Spurs-coded moments. Now, let us start with a bottle rating of 1. It's 2010 and Spurs have just qualified for the Champions League. And here is David Bentley throwing water on his manager, Harry Redknapp, in celebration. Now, you're probably wondering, why exactly does this get a bottle rating of 1? Well, you see, Bentley, he never played for Spurs again after this moment. Yeah, this man celebrated a Champions League spot that he was never going to enjoy. This is like you celebrating your girlfriend saying that she wants to have a three-way with you, but as soon as you walk into her apartment, you just see your brother in a robe. Now, sticking to the bottle rating of 1, during that exact same season, Spurs lost in the FA Cup semifinal to Portsmouth, fumbling a chance of going to a cup final. Now, I know what you're saying. Toby, Spurs losing in a semifinal, that's nothing new. Also, dude, did you sleep with my sister? Now, you're right. Spurs do lose semifinals.
Okay, now can you address the sister thing?
But the reason I added this into this list is because Spurs lost to a Portsmouth side that, I kid you not, were already relegated from the Premier League before this semifinal match even kicked off. Spurs were so bad that they lost a semifinal to a team that was already planning away trips to Millwall the next season. Bottle!
I be popping bottles.
Bottle rating number 2. Let's talk about Spurs' managers. One of them is probably one of their best in history, the already mentioned, already soaking wet Harry Redknapp, who honestly had a relatively non-controversial career. Oh, who am I kidding? He's got Spurs DNA. Of course he got done for tax evasion. Now look, I won't fault a man for avoiding his taxes because the two greatest of all time do it as well. The reason I added this into this video is because it might just be the strangest case ever. This stuff only happens with Tottenham. So, Harry Redknapp used his dog to get him off the hook. I am not joking. Harry Redknapp name dropping his dog in this case actually saved him. I'm used to dudes getting saved by their dogs in cartoons. I'm not used to seeing this in real life. But you know what? He's a Spurs legend. Of course it's gonna happen. Now let's talk about the biggest victim of media bullying in history, Ange Postecoglou.
Well, Ange, that's 5 losses in a row. You're fucked, aren't you? All I can ask is, what do you think of shit, you Australian prick?
Listen, mate, you ain't got to be a prick, okay?
Wait, Ange, why are you getting so angry? I'll just ask you about the game. Wait.
Now, I love Ange, but I cannot forgive him for the time that he subbed on a player during a match and the fans booed him and the player for this decision.
But after the substitution, Spurs went on to score a crucial goal, and Ange started cuffing his ears at the away fans, which would have been cold except for the fact that the goal was disallowed.
And when he was pressed after the game about why he cupped his ears at the fans, he was acting dumb, and he said he just wanted to hear them clearer after Spurs scored. Amazing excuse, Ange. That's like a footballer saying that he simply wanted a moment of silence from rival fans, and that's why he started shushing them.
I be popping bottles.
It is time for bottle rating number 3. Spurs lost a match to a team whose manager was in prison. Dinamo Zagreb's manager got sentenced to 5 years imprisonment for fraud. Hello, London police. I have another man that should be in jail for fraud. Name is Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto. A couple of days later, despite the fiasco of, well, you know, a team's manager going to jail, the team still went on to beat Spurs 3-0 in the Europa League and knock Spurs out. How do you lose to a team whose manager is giving tactics from a prison cell phone? Now, sticking to the Europa League, in 2007, Spurs were losing a game to Getafe. This was, of course, before Getafe became a terrorist organization. Now, because Spurs were losing at halftime, their manager, Martin Jol, decided, I'm just going to sit the players down. I'm going to tell them where we can improve. I'm sorry. This is Spurs. We know something stupid's about to happen. Yeah, their manager got fired at halftime. Martin Jol got fired halfway through his shift. We are only at bottle rating number 3, and at this point, I'm already convinced that Spurs are not a real team and are instead a distraction from the Epstein files.
Sparkles and champagne.
Spurs are the only team that could not win a trophy with Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte. As a person that has seen these guys both manage my team, appointing them is very simple. They come into your team, you give them the players that they want, they beef with other managers, they go bald, they call all the players in their team a bunch of pussies, they win you a trophy, they have a terrible second season, get fired, have a cup of tea, and wait until this all blows over. It's that simple. And yet, Spurs are the only team to do all of that stuff except for the trophy parts. Now, this next instance should honestly be a higher bottle rating, but since we're already talking about Mourinho, I might as well just say it now. Spurs had a cup final against Manchester City. We were prepping to see Pep Guardiola versus Mourinho again. Two men that went on to get their coaching licenses instead of getting something that they actually really needed, which was therapy. This was a great final showdown, except for the fact that it didn't happen because Spurs fired Mourinho a few days before the cup final and hired a man that doesn't even remember what he ate for breakfast this morning. What are we doing? Look, I know that Spurs fans are gonna always say that Mourinho wasn't a good fit. We were already doing bad with him. Okay, cool. If you want to fire him, that's fine. But why would you do it before a final? Mourinho has won more finals than Pep. Matter of fact, the only time they ever met in a major final before, Mourinho won. Spurs were terrible at this time. But it didn't matter. This wasn't Spurs versus City. This was Mourinho versus Guardiola. And you stopped that from happening. Instead, it was Pep versus Mason Ryan.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell.
This is like bringing a
Dildo to a gunfight.
bottle.
I be popping bottles.
Woo! 5 bottles, man. I'm getting kind of tipsy. Let's talk about Lasagna Gate. Spurs and Arsenal were competing to see who would get into the Champions League for the next season, and they both had to win their last games of the season. Spurs' last game was against West Ham. But the Spurs players started to feel miraculously sick during their final game, and they ended up losing to West Ham. And their sickness is attributed to the lasagna that they ate the night before, that a lot of people allege was poisoned by representatives from Arsenal. Now, look, I am not blaming the Spurs players for getting poisoned, but let's just really unpack this. Spurs are maybe the only team in history that could lose in such a cartoonish fashion. Like, dude, who else is going to get poisoned by lasagna? This feels like the script to a Jim Carrey movie. Well, now we move on to Spurs' only Champions League final. Once again, Spurs are the only team that can get to a Champions League final without signing any players during the summer, pulling off the most miraculous comeback of the season. Oh wait, never mind, they bottled that too. Look, Spurs, you've done it. You've proven all the haters wrong. You're going to a Champions League final as the underdogs. You have less pressure. Your best player is back. There's baddies in the front row. You've conceded a penalty in the first 2 minutes. Bro, somebody stop the scene. Bottle.
The following message was brought to you by
World Gang Entertainment.
World Gang. Hit that sub button fast, quick. If you don't, you're gonna get your ass kicked. Cause the journey's looking magic. Subscribe, like it up, hype it up, hat trick. We want 100K, no pain. World Gang's on fire, no cane. I think your girl rang. You tell me, Toby, I wanna join World Gang. Yeah, everybody wanna join World Gang in 2026 cause they know that we're gonna finish the story. Make sure you subscribe or else I'm gonna slap your mama right on the chin. Back to the video.
That is right, guys. We are chasing down 100,000 subscribers. If you are new here, please join the journey and comment down that you're officially joining so that me and all the day one Usos can welcome you accordingly. Shout out to everybody in the journey. Let's get back to the video.
I be popping.
And yet, guys, by bottle number 6, we are still sticking to Europe. That is right, Spurs have had a more humiliating time in Europe than the in-betweeners. In 2012, Spurs were involved in a 3-horse race for the Champions League qualification with Chelsea and Newcastle. And Spurs finished in 4th place. They did it! They finally won the battle.
Did I just catch you having fun?
Yeah, so Chelsea would actually go on to win their first ever Champions League that same season, which, by the way, is still the best day of my life. I am a married man and I have a daughter, but this is still more important. F you up the f***ing Chelsea. And because of this, Chelsea took Spurs' Champions League spot and they had to go back to the Europa League. So to all my Spurs fans watching, I'd like you guys to comment down below. Do you ever have this feeling where even if things are going well for you, there's always something messed up on the horizon that's just gonna ruin everything? Because I can't lie, if my team went through all the stuff that I've just said, I would definitely always feel an impending sense of doom. We're not even at bottle rating number 10 yet. But you see, guys, Chelsea whipping Spurs is not over yet. Now, I've been a football fan longer than some of y'all have been alive. And I believe in my time, I could count on this one hand how many times Spurs have actually beaten Chelsea. They lose to Chelsea at the Bridge all the time, and Chelsea even beat them in their own homes, like their 2009 Randy Orton. But Spurs' most humiliating loss to Chelsea of all time has to be the battle at the Bridge. Spurs were actually in a title race at this time, which is crazy to think about. They were 2-0 up at Stamford Bridge, and they drew 2-2. No Desmond. And the Spurs players had to walk off the pitch with no league title, and Chelsea fans laughing at them. Honestly, y'all, I'm kind of starting to feel bad for Spurs.
Sparkles and champagne.
Listen, you've had way too many bottles. We're gonna have to kick you out, son.
I have not had enough bottles. I got 4 more in me. For bottle rating number 7, we're gonna have to talk about the 2015-16 season as a whole. Now, I mentioned recently that they failed to win the league, but you guys gotta understand, Spurs had a team like this during that season. Man, you were ass. City were ass. Liverpool were ass. Chelsea were super ass. Arsenal were less ass, but they were still Arsenal. Spurs' only competition for a league title was a side that was fighting relegation the season before. And yet, they still lost! And if at this point you already thought that Spurs were an absolute comical joke, they had one more trick up their sleeves. In the final game of the season, Spurs were facing an already relegated Newcastle. And at this point, we should all know what happens when Spurs face already relegated teams. I don't know if Spurs are still gonna face Wolves again this season, but if they do, I would not be surprised if Wolves beat them. But no, Spurs didn't just lose to a relegated Newcastle, they lost 5-1. And despite the fact that Spurs were in a 2-horse race, they dropped to 3rd. But shout out to the Gooners at Arsenal who are fulfilling the prophecy of being in 2nd place again. Now, before we get to bottle number 8, I want to encourage you guys to please like this video if you have been enjoying it and comment down which transfer your team made, low-key transfer that honestly you just randomly appreciate today. I think for today, I'm gonna give credit to Chelsea signing Gary Cahill on deadline day and him going on to win every trophy. God bless Gary Cahill. But these transfers from Spurs were not blessed at all.
I be popping bottles.
Shut up, man. I'm leaving. Hey, man. I've had 8 bottles. Can you come pick me up, please? Now, if we were talking about Spurs' terrible transfers, we would literally be here all day. So I'm going to keep this one nice, short, and simple. Now, Spurs signed Soldado, Sanchez, and Ndombele for a combined £131 million. And they sold them all for £0. Yeah, they all left for free. So remember, guys, if you ever feel bad about how you manage money, just remember this. There are people who are awful with money and they still work for a $1 billion institution. So never give up on your dreams.
I be popping bottles, sparkles and champagne.
I am gonna make out with you, Spider-Man. No, shh. I'm not drunk. Bottle rating number 9. It is about to get serious. The first subject of bottle rating number 9, and it's Richarlison. Yeah, this guy is the physical human embodiment of Tottenham because every time he scores a crucial goal, it is usually for nothing. If he scores a goal, it's either a consolation goal, or it gets canceled for VAR, or it's a winner that is followed by an equalizer, or it's an equalizer followed by a winner. This dude needs to start celebrating like Mario Balotelli because these goals mean absolutely nothing. And the last instance for bottle rating number 9, and I'm sorry, it has to be said, their captain joined their rival team. That is Seth Rollins' level of betrayal. And people's attitude towards it is so crazy because I feel like if it happened at any other big club, it would be seen as taboo and disgusting. You can't imagine John Terry joining Arsenal or Vincent Kompany joining Manchester United. Hell, the closest we got to something like that was Figo going to Madrid, and we saw how the football world reacted to that. And yet with Spurs, people just laugh it off. Like, I'm telling you, no other club gets treated like this.
Okay, guys, I think it's time for Alcoholics Anonymous.
Okay, guys, let's talk about bottle rating number 10.
This is the kind of humiliation that needs to be passed down to future generations.
Back in 2004, Spurs were facing Man City at their home stadium. Remember, Spurs were playing at home. And they were facing a Man City 4 years before they would get inherited by Sheikh Mansour. Spurs were beating Manchester City 3-0 at halftime. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna make this even better for you, Spurs. Here's the deal. I'm even gonna throw in a red card for Manchester City. Now you're not only 3-0 up at home, you are also facing 10 men. Congratulations, Spurs. You beat the allegations. Now go out to the second half and either extend your lead or defend it. Now look, I know based on everything I've said before, you guys already know where this is going, but no. Spurs, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it! There is no way you can... Tottenham 3, Man City 4, and I am seething, fam. You let a broke-ass 10-man Manchester City side come back 4-3 in your own stadium. This is like getting beaten up in your own home by a puppy. Now, I know that people are going to say that this is probably the greatest FA Cup comeback of all time. I'm sorry, I don't see it that way. I see it as the biggest bottle job of all time. 10 out of 10 bottle rating. I don't believe that they're ever gonna have a 10 out of 10 bottle rating again. The only way they can have a 10 out of 10 bottle rating is if somehow this season they get relegated. But we all know that's never gonna happen. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Please comment down below what you think about the video. How do you feel? How do you feel about Spurs? Do you think they're going to get relegated? And please, if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And guys, please check out the links in my description. Once again, I am begging you to do that so you can join our Discord so I can see you guys on my Twitch streams. I want to be able to engage with you guys more. I don't want you to just watch my videos. I want to be able to talk to you guys more directly. You feel me? So, but anyways, besides that, guys, it has been your boy. I really do appreciate y'all. It has been your boy, the Streets Champ, and I'm just giving you the gift of Toby World. Drink it in, man.